Welcome back to a rather disturbing piece of real estate. Channel 4 News has gained exclusive access to Britain's former nuclear command centre just outside Bath. The site, codenamed Burlington, would have been a Cold War hideout for the Prime Minister and thousands of civil servants in the event of a nuclear war. It contained everything the inhabitants needed to survive for a year, and in recent years the government have built a new bunker just down the road without telling Parliament. Peter Morgan has visited both sides and has this report.
Imagine a town with its own bakery and hospital and its own pub. And then build it 100 feet under the Wiltshire countryside. As the superpowers came close to war in the early 60s, Britain's leaders built a secret citadel to protect themselves from thermonuclear attack. The town would house more than 5,000 people for a year. It was called Burlington.
It's so huge, so expensive, so complex. I don't know how the government thought they would get away with building something like it in peacetime. The whole scale of it is so frightening, just incredible.
It was going to be used for the cream of the country. They would come down under there if there were any action. Discussion used to be in the local clubs and pubs and that. If anything did happen, we'd be there before them. We knew where it was and we were going to make sure we were going to get there, yeah.
Burlington is part of Spring Quarry, an old stone mine. Recently, the Ministry of Defence allowed Duncan Campbell and Channel 4 News to film for the first time inside the quarry. Burlington itself is still off limits, but it's built on exactly the same scale and design as this part, which was used by the Royal Navy.
The whole site is 36 acres underground on this site, the naval stores site here. And there are tunnels running in all directions, and out of that lot there are a total of somewhere in the region of 25 miles of tunnels.
Burlington was built inside a hill 7 miles to the east of Bath, at Corsham. This underground Whitehall takes up half of the Spring Quarry site. Match Burlington up to the real Whitehall, and it easily swallows up its peacetime counterpart. Just behind me, through these heavy steel doors, lie the quarters for the Prime Minister and the entire War Cabinet. There are map rooms, a cabinet room, and a vault for the keeping of government papers. There's also a half-mile-long road, along which there are offices for every government department. In the event of a nuclear war, this would have become the nation's capital. An electric car on Main Road, Burlington, photographed as it was being built in the late 50s. From 1962 to 1988, Burlington was used for NATO nuclear war exercises. And even though it was closed 10 years ago, a skeleton staff still keep the place ticking over at a cost of £1 million per year. Nick McCamley has just published a book about Spring Quarry and its role as nuclear HQ.
As I saw a plan on the wall which showed the country divided into its defence regions, its 12 defence regions. And it was explained to me how information about the nuclear attack on the country was reported into this area. It was the centre of a new government communication system that was being constructed through the 50s and early 60s, which involved microwave towers dotted around the country. All of that was routed. All of that communication system was routed via Corsham.
So this was where prime ministers would have run their nuclear war, flying down by helicopter. To the east, there was the War Cabinet and its documents. To the north, a massive telephone exchange, hospital and bakery. Civil servants would have been evacuated by road to run their government departments. And even here, the last of England, there was a pub with a suitably patriotic name,
the name that they gave it was the Rose and Crown. You could just open the door and walk in off the pavement. It was that sort of area. It had a large front opening, like a large window. How they were going to get their beer down there, I wouldn't know.
Burlington has gone, but Channel 4 News has discovered Britain's latest underground HQ, built down the road from these redundant shafts. Mrs. Thatcher ordered the replacement in the late 80s. And here is Tony Blair's new home. Peel Circus is the deceptively suburban entrance to Burlington Mark II. We decided to pay them a visit. This is the Corsham Computer Centre, the government's new nuclear command centre. It's about half a mile from Burlington and part of the same complex of quarries. It's also part of a communications network worth hundreds of millions of pounds, and Parliament doesn't know about it. So we went down to the front door.
Hello.
Hello, we're from Channel 4. We just want to check this is the Corsham Computer Centre. And we're wondering if it's okay to come and film just down here at the entrance.
No, it's not. And this is Navy Administration Unit.
Ah, we heard this was the command centre for the government's nuclear bunker. Is that right?
No comment.
And with that rather surreal exchange, Duncan Campbell and myself made our excuses and left, with one important question unanswered. With the Cold War over, why does Britain still have a vast underground command centre? And how much are we paying for it? Peter Morgan, Channel 4 News, Corsham.
Peter Morgan attracting a historic no comment. You're watching Channel 4 News. It's 7:31.